Bonjour à tous, on va mettre... Hello everyone, welcome to the first workshop, Groover workshop in English. I'm used to do it in French and the first editions were successful. I hope my accent won't be too complicated to understand. Don't hesitate to tell me if you don't understand something. I'm very happy to be doing this with you. So the idea is very simple. We're gonna listen to a track and I'm gonna try to set up and send a campaign for this track, and at the same time giving you tips about how to use Groover in the right way to promote your music and bring a lot of attention and visibility to your music. And also, don't hesitate to ask as many questions as you like. I'll be very happy to answer you guys and girls, of course, and bring you as many responses, results, and tips as you'd like. So first, what I think could be great to kick it off would be to listen to the track that we're going to send today, which is a track by McClendon, which is an American artist that has had some success on Groove already, but has a new track which was released with his album, and he wants to send it now. So it would be a great idea to see how to set up a campaign for him. It's kind of indie folk. I'm happy to make you listen. Don't hesitate to tell me if you don't hear the sound. I'm going to show it now, and let's go. Heavy on my heart, I met you in the bed, and dreams so far apart, dreams so far apart. Laid you down in bed, drank amongst the stars. You're speaking like within the waves of passing cars. Those waves of passing cars. You let trouble down and something raining so loud. The streets of public shaking me again. There's no turning around. The side, the side. Some will lie to save you, and hope and truth it's time. Keep you ever. I will cut the stream because I heard that some live streams were cut if we were showing too much music in it. So I won't take the risk. I'm so happy to see already a lot of people interacting on the chat from so many countries, it seems. Some people from LA. Where are you guys from? Don't hesitate to tell us in the comments. I'm happy to see where people are listening to us, where people are listening to this live from. We had a lot of these workshops in French, so people were obviously coming from France, sometimes from Switzerland, but you seem to be coming from everywhere in the world. So And yeah, there are going to be some tips about for curators as well, and also we'll show how it works on the curator side. Oh, amazing! Mississippi, Dublin, Brazil, Mexico, Rome. Oh my God, Groover is so international. God, okay, you overpassed the number of countries I've been in my life. I hope sometimes to come everywhere. Nigeria, amazing. That's so cool. Don't hesitate to tag your artist friends in the comments, the people who you think could take benefit from this workshop and see how to launch a Groover campaign. It would be amazing. It would bring some people. Hey, Jason is watching. Hey, Jason. Oh my God, you subscribed to this live workshop. That's crazy. Maybe your first live interaction, even though I don't see you, but you see me probably. So a lot of people from everywhere. It's great. We've listened to this track by Mac Clendon. Now the idea will be to see how to launch a Groover campaign on this side. So I'm gonna show my screen. Sorry, I'm not a Twitch streamer, a professional one, so there's gonna be some mistakes. The last time I did a workshop, I didn't realize it was still going live, and I started saying a lot of swear words and everybody was laughing, but nobody left the live, so it was probably great. I'm gonna show you this screen. So this is I'm connected on Mac Clendon's account, so you can see that it's a homepage. On this homepage, you can see campaign draft if you've started a campaign already. You can see some newcomers, creators, and pros who have signed up recently. You can see some events we're doing some free springboards for. Also, list that we computed for you when you want to start with the subgenres that are linked to your profile. And a lot of tips that we're giving through our blog, toolbox of services and tools. So it's really your homepage on which you can find a lot of information. One of the first things I want to show you is how to manage your profile as a band. So it's here in the top right corner. So this page is going to be refreshed a lot in the months to come, but it's important to fill it in correctly, and especially by editing here your subgenres. Why? Because we use an algorithm that gives you some recommendations that are for now really based on the subgenres you fill here. So we see here that we have 5 subgenres ticked, which is a bit of a lot for an artist. We usually recommend between 2 to 3 in order to have accurate recommendations. But we see that these subgenres are quite related between themselves: indie folk, indie pop, indie rock. Okay, we around the same kind of creators and pros that are going to be suggested. So it's not a big problem to have 5 of them. But if for instance you take, I don't know, fusion jazz or experimental jazz with also Afro pop and electronic rock, just because you have like maybe a sax or brass in your track, is maybe not a good idea, because you're gonna get like messy recommendations. So what I recommend here is to select at least 2 to 3. Maybe we can put out alternative rock, because it's more indie rock. It's alternative rock here is seen as more heavy, so we can keep this for 1. So it's great. You can put your social media accounts. Don't hesitate to put your information, your bio. This is all very relevant information for curators once they receive your track, if they want to dig. So I showed you the profile, but I didn't start at the right place. I think the right place to go would be on the homepage and to start a campaign. So you can click here or click here, and the idea is to really bring you in a way to add your track, and then you'll be able to select the creators for this specific campaign. So to put you in those shoes. So if you want to start a campaign here, we see that we have already What I've Become, which is the first single that Mac Clendon released. I saw just before that there was a question about when we recommend to send a track. It really depends on what you're looking for. If you're looking for record labels or music professionals, you can definitely send your music before it's released, of course. Then if you want to send it to music curators, for blogs and radios, you can definitely send it before using a private SoundCloud or unlisted YouTube link. But we usually recommend that you send it really close to the release, because the way the promotion is done on Groover is really in a short-term way close to the release day. And especially if you selecting some Spotify playlist curators, we really recommend that you wait until release date to actually send them the campaign. I'm just gonna. I see that it's a bit. Yeah, okay. This is better. You'll see it bigger. So yeah, Spotify, for Spotify playlist creator, we actually recommend that you wait until release date, so you'll be able to add your Spotify link to the track, and actually the Spotify playlist creators will be able to add the track directly to their playlist. And sometimes it can be motivation for them to reject a track when the track is not yet available. But here we'll see that we had What I've Become, but we've not listened to What I've Become. We've listened to Versailles. If I'm going too fast, tell me. If you have some questions, don't hesitate. So the track is Versailles. We asked for the release date, which I actually don't remember, but I'm probably going to find it out if I look on YouTube. Okay, and then Versailles. And then I don't remember the date. So that was probably, where is it? Yeah, June 22. So if I'm gonna copy paste this for then. So June 22, 2021. The tracks leaks languages is important because we're going to be able very soon on the platform to tell you when you've selected a curator that doesn't accept songs in English, for instance, only in French, only in Portuguese. For now, it's available. The information is available on their profile, but we don't prevent you from selecting them. But it's coming really soon, like in the upcoming weeks. So here we ask you for YouTube or SoundCloud link. And then you can add the Spotify link to the track that I have here. I want to select it here. Here. If your track is not on Spotify yet, it's not a problem. You don't need to add it, but here it is, and we are definitely gonna select some Spotify playlist creators for this track. So it makes sense that we actually add the Spotify link. And I also have a link to the full EP on Spotify. I could also add here a smart link to a track. I actually think I can probably add this. So I'm gonna just look if I have it here. Maybe not. Got some questions in the meantime. Don't hesitate to ask. I'm trying to do everything at the same time. It's a bit complicated, and my brain is not used to doing multiple things at the same time. So if I say silly things, don't hesitate to tell me. So this is smart link that you can use here in the field. So yeah, this is the smart link for this track, which is, this landing pages on which you can access to the track on all streaming platforms. So then we click on next, and then we ask you what kind of target you have for this campaign. So actually, we have a lot of people who can help you get more visibility and media coverage, but we also have a lot of record labels, publishers, managers that are eager to receive tracks from people who are looking for partners. And also this category, receive detailed advice, is more to get in touch with mentors, coaches, sound engineers. But here we definitely, with the track released with this target, get visibility and media coverage. So then we click on Start Selection. I see a question about at what stage of the project. Okay, I'm going to showcase it. This is an amazing platform, Restream, really. At what stage of the project do you recommend artists to run a Groover campaign? Actually, it could be at kind of any stage. Maybe after you quite satisfied with your track, you can actually send a demo. I recommend it to be quite well mixed. I think it's better actually for you. It's better if it's well mixed, for sure. And the idea will probably that you can select some coaches and mentors if you want to have really feedback on your production. But actually, the best way to use Groover is around the release or after release, in order to get some visibility. But you can also do it before if you're looking for some partners, some record labels. So here it is. So actually, you have access here to all the creators and professionals. What I'm going to do is actually use the filters here. The track that we've been listening to, I find like it is close to indie pop and maybe also to indie folk in a way. So I want to see curators that have both to see if the people that they show are relevant. And I'm really into the promotion kind of people that I want to select. So media, radios, playlists, channels, maybe journalists. Why not? So it's still a lot of context. So maybe I can filter a bit more. Here you see that we have filters for musical genres, for curators and prose types to see the ones you want to get in touch with. Also here we have the filters so you can see all the new ones, also the certified ones. So here, if you want to see only the ones who are very impactful, or the certified Spotify playlists for which we have really verified that they bring a relevant number of streams. All playlists on there are generating streams, but just these ones we are sure they're generating a significant amount of streams and can have impact if they accept your track. Same here for Top Curator Pro, which is a category that we created for creators who cost a bit more, and because they are more influential or they do a really great job, and so they cost a bit more to get in touch with for that reason, because they are really they receive a lot of tracks. So it's a way to filter a bit more the submissions they are receiving. Here, regarding the countries, I think actually we're going to go down the list and select some people out of these 476, even though it's a bit more. I think I'm going to remove maybe the journalists and maybe the media, because I'm really want to focus on playlists and radios. No, I'm going to keep them, but maybe I can. Okay, let's go with this 416 to see if the recommendations are relevant. So you see that there are a lot of them, a lot of them from different countries. So you can also filter by country, as I showed in the filters. Like, the idea here is really simple: is if you have a few time and a lot of money, you can select a lot of them. But what I would recommend is to spend some time seeing if these people are actually relevant for your music. So for instance, here, I can see that Maíz Texas is a really good media playlist and radio in Brazil that I know about. We've sent a track already. So this is one of the cool things, is that you can click on their profile. Okay, I don't know why it's not working. We can't click on the profiles, which is a big problem. Oh yeah, no, I was just a bit too quick for it. I don't have a really good connection here. I'm just gonna wait until it works. Sorry about this. I think the streaming plus the is not working really good. So if I go again into the filters, I go indie rock, no, indie folk, indie pop. If I go indie folk here, and then if I select the media, maybe the playlist and the radios. Okay, and if I go to, let's see if I want a very impactful one, certified YouTube channel as well, the Top Curator Pro, and high quality feedback. Okay, I see that I have more 93 curators here, which is great, which are probably the most impactful because I selected those filters. Here I can see Plays by John Magnusson, which is a really good curator that I definitely want to send the song to, because it has a lot of impact. That's why we selected them as a Top Curator Pro. The same goes for Burp.fm. Is Josh. He's an amazing guy from the US, but he actually lives in France. So we had a beer a few months ago, and he's a really great guy. The same goes for Routine Espresso, which I think could be great for this track. We can also select French deep playlist is not relevant for this track because they're actually creating only music from France, and you can see them actually on their profile. I don't know why it's lagging so much, but it's probably gonna, yeah. The languages, you see, they only want tracks in French, so this is definitely a track in English, so I'm not gonna get in touch with them. Bananas Music Branding is a company which puts the music into radio stations of stores around Brazil. They are really good. I definitely think it's a track that could be great in a shop in Brazil. I definitely want to. So I see a question here. Do we assume that very impactful are looking for more established artists, or are they all judging the quality of the song itself? you can't yeah, no, it doesn't mean that they are looking for more established artists. Actually, they can say it in their profile if it's the case, but most people here are really looking for emerging artists and track that they will like. So they're really judging the quality of the song itself. We've seen amazing results from tracks that were just released with no entourage, with no people around, and have amazing results because the track was amazing. So it's really about the quality of the track, for sure, at first. um, there's a question about how do I make sure I don't send the same song for a second campaign to visitors that didn't accept me the first time. So we actually have, if you select people for the same track for the second time, at the next step, we're going to tell you, hey, you have already contacted these guys for the same campaign with a really big red line, so you can remove them from the campaign. And at the same time, you can see on their profiles, when you've already contacted them, you can see one track sent. So for instance, for Radio Neo, we've sent already 2 tracks apparently. I'm going to click on it just to show the profile. It doesn't, okay, yeah. And we'll see that I have already contacted them for what I've become. You see that they like the atmosphere. Okay, they broadcast only bands from French-speaking countries, as you can see. So I'm not going to contact them again, which is why it's interesting, because when you've already gotten in touch with a curator and you do a new campaign, you have information about whether they would be interested in actually listening to a new track or not. So about some of you, we sent a track, but it expired. So maybe it's a good opportunity to get in touch with them. Dummy is more about, they cover indie pop and singer-songwriter, but they're more into hip hop. So I don't think it would be a great match. Mono could be great. Indiflagration is my own blog. I'm not gonna get in touch with them because I already love the project. It's my own blog that I created 8 years ago, and still a way for me to of course use the platform on a daily basis. About the La Vague Parallèle, they're great, and I think they will love the track. So it's a good idea. Le Canal Auditif is a really cool media outlet in Canada. They could be great to get in touch with. Le Cargo are only featuring videos. Here it's not a video, it's just an audio track. So I think I won't get in touch with them. And if I look at the about section, they say it, I think. See, they're like, okay, reviews acoustic. Oh, actually, maybe they cover more than just videos now. So they changed a bit the video, the way they're sharing tracks. So it's interesting to know. Tsugi Radio is a really good online radio linked to Tsugi magazine, which is a reference for electronic music in France. Definitely want to get in touch with them. Auxois FM is a cool FM local radio in France that I think could like the track. Now and Then Music Playlist is a good Spotify playlist that really likes. You can see indie folk, indie pop, we're definitely in that area. So what is interesting with using the filter is you can see definitely from the start if they are relevant or not for your track. If I go to, this is a really cool media in a media outlet in Brazil that also has cool playlists that generates a lot of stream, and they have a lot of impact. I don't know if people from Brazil out there, but they probably know Tenho Mais Discos Que Amigos. I don't know if I say it right, but Pilar Art is great as well. You can see that they are certified, so it's kind of a guarantee that if they accept to share the track, it's gonna have some impact. Same goes for Jelly Rabslut, for Lazy Frenzy. B-Rec would be great. As you see, I selected quite a lot of creators. It's what we recommend, that we realized that the satisfaction of artists was really over the top when they were getting in touch with over 30 creators, and even more when they were getting in touch with over 50 creators. So it's a good sign for Groover as well as a working platform and company, because we see that as the more contacts you get in touch with, the more you're satisfied with the results. We could think the contrary, since you've spent more, you expect more from the results. But as you really get the value from Groover, from contacting a lot of creators and getting a lot of feedback and getting a lot of opportunities, so it actually makes sense, and that's why I'm selecting quite a lot of pros for this campaign. Lovey Indie Bedroom Pop could be great. I think it's maybe a bit too upbeat for them because they're really into bedroom kind of very low tempo, down tempo stuff, but maybe it will work. Le Chantier, I think they will like it. It's a really cool FM radio in France. Sound Soul is a cool place. They can like it. The Daily Dose as well is a cool YouTube channel. They can like it. Radioactive as well. Um, what about Mauvaise Graine Magazine, which is a really cool magazine? I can see one thing I recommend, and you'll see that I'm gonna leave the campaign, but it's not a problem because it's gonna be saved as a draft. So if I go back to the homepage, you see that I have my campaign as a draft here. I wanted to show you this, is that there's a category here on the homepage of the people who already liked the music from McLendon. So it can be a good basis if you're sending a new track for a band to see the ones that have already appreciated one of your track, to select them again if you feel it's relevant. So here I see, I think Last Day Deaf could be great. I see Palco Pop. Tunnel Jukebox could be great as well. Maybe Unheard Indie. Sun, and you see that it's not a problem. So it's like I'm starting a campaign again. But when I will select the draft of the campaign, it will ask me if I want to merge this selection that is made on the homepage with the campaign in question, which is what I'm gonna do, and we'll see if it works. I'm not entirely sure, but it's supposed to work. I can see some cool media here that I want to get in touch with. Treehouse Music can be interesting. Radio Sandia is great. Roadie Music is great in Brazil. Just Two of Us is actually a place which generates a lot of streams, so I really recommend it to you guys. UN Indie Folk Music as well. Maybe Palco MP3 is great, but I know that McClendon has already signed up to this great platform in Brazil. Gia Records is amazing as well in Brazil. They're generating a lot of streams and showcasing a lot of artists from Groover. The same for Indie Mov. Le Phare Musicale is quite new as well, and I like it. I like them. Mitrokel Disco as well. Okay, that's cool. If I go to my homepage again, so let's see if it works. Okay, and now I select Versailles by McLendon. Usually, if I go through the steps, it will have selected all the other curators that I had pre-selected. If it doesn't work, it's a good thing because I will be able to tell to tell the team that we need to fix it. Actually, so I have a question about a curator here who's telling me, "Hey Dorian, how can a curator improve his visibility on the platform? How to gain positions and visibility?" There's not really a way for that. We really trying to match the list with the subgenres and the tags that the artists are selecting. So you will be shown to the artists who have filled in the information and for whom you are actually relevant. And of course, having a good activity, having a good answer rate, having a good acceptance rate, it probably has an impact because actually artists, when they visit your profile, they can see that you're actually very active on the platform, and they will like to select you at that point. Okay, if I go again to filters, and so sorry, I need to do that again. Indie pop, then indie folk here, indie folk. So usually if you select more several subgenres, it will reorder the creators to have those that have both at the top. And if I focus on playlists, radios, media, I will have the rest of my selection made. So High Clouds, I wouldn't recommend getting in touch with them for now because they only cover tracks that are not yet released. Escutais would be great. La Belle Onde could be great. I'm really trying to make a campaign of around 40 selected professionals, or around 50. Pretty Noise could be great. And now you see that you can like remove the filter, reset them, and you can also say, okay, now I want to see really the best playlist and be sure that I get in touch with all of them, all the ones that are relevant for my jar. So if I put the certified playlist and then pop, indie pop, and folk, indie folk, that's 55. I think I should get in touch with Yumi Dancing. 3 a.m. playlist could be great as well. maybe Vibes Moving, maybe Hardcore Reva, EDM and indie rock, which is pretty weird. They probably have two playlists, or they are doing like a kind of. Uh, actually, I want to listen to that track. I'm curious to see what they do with EDM and indie rock in the same playlist. Um, Listener could be great. Marble Collective could be great. New Pop as well. Yeah, it's really addictive. Sunday's Best is actually a playlist from someone in Filipinos, which they started this playlist years ago, and they actually have a lot of traffic on it. So if they accept the track, it's great. Heads Over Dreams, it's cool. Alex Constapes, Arrive at the End. Acoustic Afternoon could be great. Sad Sounds maybe, because it's quite a low key. Maybe I don't know if it's in what note it is, but it's probably a minor key. Belonging Dance is great. And also, if I remember correctly, the Longing Dance, they refuse all the tracks they don't want to add to their playlist. So if they don't accept it, they will cash it out. So you see that they have almost like 100% acceptance rate, which means that they actually give you back your credits if you're not accepted. So it's you should always select the Longing Dance if it's in your area. IBKR is great as well. Got in touch with him recently, and they have a really influential playlist. The same goes for Lista Fina. Française Indie is more for French projects, so I won't be contacting them. Indie Spotlight is great. Electroposé is more for electronic music, so no. I think we're good. I think it'd be great with that selection. Do you have some questions? So I see that there are a lot of questions, so I'm probably going to try to see if there are some questions about it. Do you have some questions about how to make your selection, or how to get in touch with the right curators? I answered to a question before. I see a question here about it. Do you have a lot of creators for more experimental electronic style, or is it mostly dance style? So we have a lot of creators for experimental electronic styles. So as you can see here, if I remove the filters and I go to electronic, we indeed have an experimental electronic subgenre. And you see that there are 151 curators that actually like it in a way, at least in a way. And we definitely have a lot of curators that like underground genres. Which is great because they actually want to find originality. So we have a lot of creators that like dance music, like purely EDM, but we have a lot of them that we also like really peculiar genres, very more experimental, ambient, also dubstep, trance music. So we have a lot of creators for all kind of genres. I was very surprised because I sent a campaign for neoclassical musician recently, and there were so many interesting playlist creators for them. So actually, it's open to all kind of genres, definitely. I see. How do you personalize submission message when you send to 50 plus? Okay, it's interesting. So I'm gonna try to. Okay, I don't know why my computer does that. Okay, so if I go to the next step. So I have that selection of creators and pros. You can see that we also like recommending some other ones here, which could be interesting. Okay, so now there's about the pitch. So I'm going to the pitch then. There's a general pitch to creators and pros that is important, that you can definitely, you have to put a bit of energy on, at least to do like 2 or 3 lines to explain what your project is and what is your track. So I already wrote it, but you see that it's 5, 6 lines explaining what the project is, and it's really like an interesting way just to present your project. And of course, your profile, explain it a bit more. Then about personalized message, here I don't have a lot of time to do them. Actually, they are very important when you're getting in touch with record labels, with publishers, with managers, but actually with curators, it's less important to write like a personal message to them. And of course, when you have more than 50, it's very complicated, but it's not mandatory. It's optional. You can definitely select the one you want to. If you know some of them, if you know that some of them have already liked one of your track, if you want to send them a personal message, do it. But don't feel forced to do it for all the contacts that you have, or you will spend so much time. But if you have time to do it, it can always be like a little plus that they will appreciate. But it's really important, in particular for music professionals, like record labels or or publishers or managers that can definitely take benefit from you explaining why you're getting in touch with them, what you're looking for. Are you looking for a new record label for your next release? Have you already released an album and you're looking for someone to help you for the next one? Kind of the context. But when you're sending a track for promotion purposes and it's already released, it's quite obvious what your target is. So personalized messages are useful, but they're not like you don't need to entirely. I see another question, which is, I mean, to log music, cinematic soundscapes, creators for that. Yeah, definitely. We have film music category. We have ambient electronic category. We have a new classical category. You can really navigate through this subgenres to find the one that can be really interesting for your music, in particular by looking at all the profiles and then the characteristics of those different creators. Okay. Okay, so this is not a question. It's just like, Florian, thank you. Groove is very great. I see a lot of comments that are very positive here, so it's pretty exciting. The same way as seeing where you guys come from for all of these different countries is really exciting as well. So thank you very much for following this live. I feel blessed, and even though I'm not I'm not very comfortable in doing this, so let's go to the next step, which is actually a summary of the track and the submission itself. I see that everything is right here, so it's perfect. The selection recap is perfect as well. And then if I go down here, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do a promotional code. Yeah, that will work only one time, so you cannot use it on your site. And I'm gonna do it very quick. So I'm going to create a promotion code just to be able to send this campaign. Just 1 second. Sorry. It's actually quite quick to create one, so it's cool. Okay, so here I apply it, and boom, I send my campaign. This is going to work. Yeah, the campaign is sent. So actually now the campaign is sent to the selection of curators and pros. Someone is telling me that I have a great English. I'm happy, thank you. So the campaign is sent. You have a recap here. You can see how it went out. And then if you go to the feedback here, so it can take a bit of time. So maybe refreshing the page. I'm going to go to the home page just to see if it refreshes it. And here in the feedback section, so you see that pending is 0, so it's not normal. I'm going to refresh the page. It usually needs to refresh. And then all the submissions are visible in the pending section here. So we have a lot of improvements on the platform that are coming and that are ongoing, and that will help you use the platform the best way possible. As soon as you get a feedback on your track, you receive it through email, and you can log into the platform to read it. So it's actually very useful to know when you get feedback about a track. I'm gonna just wait until my network works better. Like really, I don't know if the feed is great, but I think it's a bit too much for my computer. Let's see this. And we had a lot of new features that we pushed, and it kind of slowed down the website. We're working on it at the same time, so it can be kind of frustrating when you're experiencing it yourself. But know that we have like a huge roadmaps of improvements that we're on to do. So in the meantime, I can see that there's a questions about what kind of budget do you recommend. Does it differ when you want to get into playlists there's getting feedback? So this is a really cool and interesting question. We actually have an article about this. I'm going to send you here in your FAQ about what budget you should invest in your campaign. So budget article. Here it is. So we actually recommend to select at least 30 contacts, and if you can, go to 50. Especially if you're doing promotion campaigns, especially to playlists or curators and professional and curators, media outlets, blogs, radios. because it's actually the way for you to get great results, because you're gonna get a lot of results out of Groover from there. And also we did a study about the satisfaction of artists depending on the number of contacts they did, and it was like mind blowing how artists were satisfied when they had contacted at least 30 of them, because that's the way to get surprises and to get actual visibility from a budget that's still very affordable, around like 50 euros, for instance. So the budget we recommend for a first campaign or first try on Groover, we have some discount packs that you can use. You can definitely go for one of the first packs that are around 45 euros and 90 euros then. And it's a way for you to try it out. And then if it works great for you, you can definitely put a bit more budget, but it could be between 50 euros and 200 euros. So I'm gonna go again on the website and hope it works. Maybe there's a big bug on the platform at the right at the moment, which would be like a really good timing for that, knowing that I'm doing the live show right now. So did I answer your question about the budget? I put the link in the comments, so don't hesitate to read that article that is really detailed on the topic, and it can really help you, I think. So I'm going to try again to load the website. It's probably going to work this time. Yeah, the link can be interesting, I think. Okay, I'm going to look if there are some other questions. Okay. Any advice to increase organic streams on the place they had bad results using paid ads? Okay, so it's not a question directly related to Groover. We have also an article on our blog about this that is quite useful, that I'm gonna send to you right now. Okay, so okay, I'm gonna nowhere. So it's not this one. I'm gonna look for the article, which is called "How to Grow Your Spotify Playlist." That was wrote by actually a place curator, and it's really interesting. A lot of advice about this. So I just send it in the comments. So if you're interested, Emilio Lanza, it can be interesting for you. Definitely, it brings much more advice than what I can give you here about how to optimize your referencing, your playlist, and how to get success in growing the number of people who are signed up to it. Yeah. Okay. Are there some other questions? So maybe you can go to like the questions and answers part of this workshop. If you have some questions about how to use Groover in the best way, if you have some feedback about the platform, don't hesitate to share now. I'd be really happy to answer you. So if you have the questions, and if you have always wanted to ask us questions about anything, that could be the time. I'm definitely open to all your questions. So I'm gonna see. I don't see new questions. I don't know if you onto it. Gonna look if maybe there are some other questions that I didn't answer before. I can see some new messages. A thank you message. This is not a question. Okay, I'm gonna look for a question. I see that you are. Oh yeah. Yeah, a question now. Perfect. Oh, I see a lot of questions coming now. That's great. I'm going to answer to all of them, of course. How do I find the curated categories? So you need to start a campaign to, as I showed just before, so to add the link to your track and then get access to the list with all the creators. So you need to actually start a campaign as a draft. And then the idea would be to use the filters. And in the filters, if you go a bit down in the filters, you can see the types of creators. So record labels, playlist creators, actually blogs, record labels. You can definitely tick the ones you want to see, and also on their profile, when you click on the profiles of the creators, you can see that the categories in which they are like a media outlet, they are a record label, all this kind of stuff. So it's definitely available once you start a campaign, but also on their profiles. I don't know if I answered your question. If you had a more specific one, don't hesitate to add. Another questions from Romain. Can you explain how to find the most influential creators for Spotify and other platforms? So the same, everything goes with the filters. Once you start a campaign and you add the information on your track and you're on the list with all the creators and pros, you can use the filters. And in the filters, you can definitely tick the Spotify one. So the idea would be to tick In the certified curators and pros, there's a badge that's called Certified Spotify Playlist. These are the most influential curators for Spotify that we have on Groover. And also the other way would be, of course, to dig through the different playlists that you can find, which can be probably a way for you to get access to the best curators that we have currently on Groover. This batch was made for that. Here, asked about the jars like hip hop, DS pop. If you look above, please. Okay. Do you have? Can you? So I have trouble to manage this feed. Okay, I'm gonna look above if I can see your question again. I think it's Oh yeah. Okay. Just say you have a song, Tame Impala Neighborhood Vibes, but has a rap verse. Would you include hip hop in the genre as well as pop indie? Was that too wide? I think I would go for the most general genre. So here it seems that it's more kind of indie rock, indie pop, or lo-fi bedroom. If it's like a Tame Impala or psychedelic pop, I would go for this one, and probably. And because if it has just a rap verse, it's probably not a song that people who look for rap or hip hop are gonna appreciate, and at least they are not maybe not gonna wait until they hear the rap verse. So I would go more for the more general genre in which the track is. It makes more sense because I think if you take a lot of different genres, it would probably pop a lot of recommendations that are not very relevant. A new question. Can you give a bit of direction on the best way to approach the labels and artist managers? I approached several labels on Groover and they seemed kind of put off by my approach, unfortunately. For record labels and artist managers, I think maybe you can be quite specific about where you're at and what you're looking for. Like the fact that you already have a track that has been out and you have an album that is ready that you want to share. This can be a good approach. And say that you have listen to the artist of their catalog and you feel that it could be interesting to get in touch. The approach maybe not too forward, and actually with record labels they can have a lot of rejections, but sometimes you just need one to approve and accept your track for something good to happen. We measured that there were more than 300 record labels who signed actually an artist. There were more than 300 signatures on record labels from artists on Groover, the ones that we know of. So actually, it happens. Like they are really here to sign some artists, the ones that are there. Not hesitate to try to target the ones that are really in your area, and maybe show that you have some track record, that you have maybe already a track that is out, and that you have an album that is ready. Show the context in which you are. Here. Will you implement a way to display the average daily streams each playlist can bring? We would love to. It's definitely something we want to work on. It's not in the top priorities, but it's on a roadmap. Definitely. The problem is in the way Spotify manages their APIs. It changes all the time, so there's a lot of work to process it. We try to really use the badge as a guarantee that they are at least generating some streams, but for now we don't have this information in a clear way. We hope to have like our own engine to do that, but for now we don't have it, but we hope to have it at some point. So other questions, there are lots of them now. I hope I will answer all of them. Okay. Here, what are the requirements for feedback for creators? Isn't always very detailed for the price. Yeah. So actually the feedback is quite free. We have some guidelines. We ask them to be quite detailed and also to give something personal and also comment on the music. Actually, some creators do it better than others. We have some creators that are very influential, receive a lot of tracks, and don't have a lot of time to do some very personal, constructive feedback. And we are more in a position to say, when they accept a track, they have a lot of impact for the artist, so it's great. But when they don't accept it, the feedback is not very detailed. So what we do now with those kind of creators is try to add a note on their profile, so at least you know that if you get in touch with them, you're probably not going to get very constructive feedback. You can see those notes on the profiles of the creators. It could be great, and it could be interesting for you. And the guidelines are quite detailed. We ask them constructive feedback. We ask them to be benevolent at the same time. We do a lot of guidance and teaching on this. Actually, we on the way to enforce kind of a new way, a new guide of giving some feedback, do some tutorials, and really manage it even better. And every month we do kind of a tracking of the quality of feedback. We get in touch with the creators who don't do some very interesting or relevant feedback, or who do some copy pasted ones, to try to improve it. Sometimes we kick off some creators that don't do the job well, and we're really trying to have the best community of creators. We're actually hiring right now someone to help me and Antoine on managing the community of creators and pros. It's a really difficult profile to find, but it's something that can bring a lot of quality. And one of his his or her priorities would be to really help improve the quality of the feedback given. So is there another question here? Okay. Maybe adding to the type of a track question, does it make sense to send in a radio edit, mix of your track instead of 7-minute version that maybe works better for radio and playlist? It can make sense. I've seen it a lot, done it a lot, especially for playlists and radios. For radios, it makes a lot of sense. For playlists also, because a lot of playlists don't want to add too long tracks because they fear that their audience is going to skip, and they want to have more rhythm in the way their playlist is made. So it makes sense actually to send radio edit, definitely. If you have one, of course. What about using Groover to re-promote something that I released a few years ago, but I didn't have the chance to promote it as good as I should have? It's a really good idea, actually. We've done it a lot. We've seen a lot of artists do it, especially after like they have a PR campaign and it ends up, and then their track, they want to still promote it. And actually to playlists and to radios, it can be a great way to bring some more activity around it. A few years is maybe a lot, but 6 months to a year is really interesting. And if you want to try, if you have an amazing track that no one has heard of yet, but has already been released, you can definitely try a small campaign to see how people react to it. But most creators on Groove, they're not looking for like very fresh new release like from yesterday. They're really looking for tracks that they haven't listened to before and that they're gonna love. But of course, it's written on their profile if they want like really fresh releases. Agreed, saying it doesn't fit that place vibe isn't good enough. Fixing more on what about the song didn't make it fit. I definitely agree. It's what we asked them to do. It was with a lot of force. Sometimes we yell at them, not yell, but almost, just to tell them and explain how it's interesting to explain why they are not adding a track to a playlist. So it's definitely what we asking them to do. We enforcing it more and more. We see some progress in a lot of territories in which we do it. So it's probably going to be better and better in the years to come, especially that we're going to have a specific team working on that and working on having creators really explain why they're sharing or not sharing a track. I'm going to show you, so it's a bit of a gift for the people who are still there, but it's a discount code for a Groover campaign that you can use as soon as you want, and for a new campaign or for a campaign that you have, if you have already used Groover or not. It's live workshop dip. And I also will add an article about how to actually apply it to campaign, which is after you have started the campaign. And how to apply it, and actually feel free to use it as much as you want. It's a cool way to have an interesting discount on your first campaign, and be able to really see how the platform works. I'd be so happy to give you some guidance. If you have some questions about anything, don't hesitate to send questions to using the chat icon in the bottom left corner of the screen. If you have some question about anything, we will answer as soon as possible. We're trying to be really reactive on this support channel. So if you have some question during your campaign, don't hesitate. I have a few more questions that I'm gonna answer to, and then I'm gonna leave you. In a way. So is there a way to be notified when creators back from holiday? It's something we're working on. So not now, but we're working on it. So you suggest doing a first campaign to labels and managers, second campaign to blogs 1 week before release, and a third campaign to Spotify players and YouTube channels after release. So it's not the only way of doing it. It can be a good strategy. Actually, if there's nothing wrong about this strategy, We have another article that I spent a lot of time on, which is called "When Should I Send My Music on Groove?" and I'm sending in the feed now, which can help you set up your campaigns with the right timing. You're not forced to get it. If you want to get in touch with labels and managers, you definitely want to do it before release, or have in mind that it will be probably for next release that you're getting in touch with them. Um, Blogs, it can be 1 week before release or after release date. Actually, we actually send campaigns for the artists we support on release date or after release, but it can be done before. And a thumb campaign to Spotify playlist and YouTube channels after release. Yes, I recommend you send it at least to Spotify playlist on release date or after release, so they have the link. They have the link available. Okay, I think we are good with questions. Uh, I can see here for my PR campaigns, I do 4-6 weeks before the release. I do radio, and then a couple of days before the release, I do exclusive to blog. I definitely agree. It's more that Groover is more on a very like speed thing. It's not the same way as doing a real PR campaigns. You can definitely get in touch with blogs a lot before, but you can expect them to forget a bit about your release, which is not always really good. So that's why we usually recommend to have like a timing that's quite close to the release date. But actually, there are lots of ways of doing it, and I would be excited to see if you get some cool results on Groover by sending a track a lot before release. Do you have a checklist to help artists streamline their objectives? I don't think we have this checklist, but actually we were working on it at some point. What I can recommend you is to go to our blog, on which we have a lot of advice, and especially in the advice section. So I'm going to send you the link to the advice section. We have a lot of articles about a lot of stuff, and it can actually help you getting organized on this. And I think it could help you probably organize your objectives and how to set up your release. There are a lot of articles about that, so it's probably going to be helpful. So one last show of the discount code for a Groover campaign that you can use for your next campaign or your first campaign. Don't hesitate to use it. If you have questions about anything, we're available. Using the chat section on the bottom left corner of the website is the perfect way when you're on groover.co. You can also send us email at this email address if you have some questions. It's at groover.co. We always available if you want any help or any support in using Groover in the right way, or if you have some random questions about anything. We really want to help you guys. So yeah, we're available. So I'm gonna just put this in the comments, so I'm sure you all have it. This is the code, and this is how to apply it to your campaign. And I think I'm gonna be leaving. I'm gonna probably end this workshop with showing you for the last time just a bit more of the track that we've been listening to, which is really a crush on my side, Versailles from Mac Lendon. He needs a lot of support, so don't hesitate to bring him to go and like his track and maybe get in touch with him. He's a really cool guy, so don't hesitate to get in touch with him on Instagram or anything. I think he will appreciate it. So giving some support, and see you guys. See you for maybe a next workshop. We're trying to gonna do 1 month, and I was really happy to do that with you. And yeah, thank you. I'm so happy to see so many people from so many different places. See you very soon, and yeah, thank you. Bye bye.